Hi, this is Vernon. I'm back with Chasing Time Travelers Part 14. In this section, we're going to talk about the Azores. My theory is that Chichen Itza is a map of the Western Hemisphere, and so I've been going through it I started with Ireland, and then went to St. George's Channel, then to England and Scotland, where we have the Temple of the Big Tables. Basically, whoever created this was showing us landmarks and land masses and actual buildings. Like when we get to the Washington D.C. part, you decide, but it looks like they're showing us, specific buildings. Okay, let's go into the Azores now. So the Azores are part of Portugal. They are in quotes in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. It's 5 islands, I think it is. On the left, you see a real map, and you see where the Azores are located out in the Atlantic. And on the right, you see how the Mayas, or whoever laid that out, those temples, they put one specific pyramid to represent the Azores. One of the interesting things about the Azores is that the prime meridian used to run through them past Santa Maria Island, and and then the nations got together and they decided to make it run through Greenwich, England. And but not every nation was on board with that, but they did it anyway. And the reason why that's so interesting to me, from a Mayan map standpoint, is because I used this to develop my theory about the sock bays. I think the sock bays represent electromagnetic fields, which is why the largest sock bay at Chichen Itza is the one that runs from uh, the main pyramid. Well, basically, it runs from Iceland up to it runs up and down the Atlantic Ocean, right, north and south. And so let's continue. On the right, we've got the Pyramid of Kukulkan, and on the left, we've got Mount Pico. My theory is that the Pyramid of Kukulkan represents Mount Pico, which is on Pico Island in the Azores. Here's a close-up of the Pyramid of Kukulkan, and a lot of research has been done on that place. It's pretty complex. It's got things inside of it, like a pyramid inside of this one, and my book discusses the details. My basic theory about the Pyramid of Kukulkan is that they are showing us the 3 stages of religion in the Azores. So, if at the at the most interior level inside the pyramid, there's this jaguar god throne. It's the color of lava, and it's got jade stones, and I think they're talking about the worshiping nature there. One, so keep in mind that that Mount Pico, just like all the other mountains in the Azores, Mount Pico is volcanic, and I think what they're showing us on the right is the lava channels. So basically, the way it would work would be um, after an intense rain, all these grooves that you see would be filled with water, and then the sun would rise on to the left side of that image, and at a certain angle, because of the color of the sun when it's rising, which is pretty much the color of lava, depending on where you stood, you would see this replica of lava channels, which I'm calling a sunrise effect. So that's the first stage of religion in the Azores. They worshipped nature. The problem with that part of my theory is I don't think there's archaeological evidence of people worshiping nature in the Azores. Um, So that's the weakness of this part of the theory. However, let's go to the next one. The second stage of religion in the Azores, they worshipped Tanit, also known as Ishtar. And if you think about that phenomenon where on the spring equinox we see the two snakes slithering down the side, the north side of the pyramid of Kukulkan. Let's see. In mythology, who went below ground with two snakes on the spring equinox? That was Ishtar. And so I think they were talking about worshiping Ishtar at that. I'm sorry, I need to add this. In 2012, archaeologists in the Azores found evidence that the ancient Azorians worshipped Tanit, and Tanit is the same as Ishtar. Now let's go to the third stage. If my theory is right, if they're showing us the stages of religion in the Azores, well, Azorians, contemporary Azorians don't worship Ishtar. They're mainly Catholic. I think like 85% are Roman Catholic. So let's see. So stage three of the religion in the Azores is Christianity, in my opinion. You see that temple on the top? That's referred to by archaeologists as the Upper Temple. It's not, in other words, it's not a part of the pyramid below it. It's like an addition. Excuse me. And the reason we know it's an addition is because there's another temple, the house of it's called the ossuary, and there's another temple at Chichen Itza which is a lot like this one but smaller, and that one does not have anything on top, and that's how we know. Another thing that's interesting is that because of that other temple where they show snakes on all four sides, right? This temple of Kukulkan only shows snakes on the north side, which means we're only looking at the phenomenon on the spring equinox. There are no snakes on the south side. That means we're not talking about the fall equinox also, because snakes don't normally crawl backwards uphill. So this is just a spring equinox thing. So if this is Christianity, then let's see how that would work. So in Christianity, the main ritual or moment is the resurrection of Christ. And what you see on the left here is an inside view of that temple. Now, in red there, on the left-hand image, there's a red square rectangle. That's the God-man. Well, from what I can make of it, when the sun rises on the day of Ishtar, which is Easter, which is the spring equinox in theory, that God-man's image gets eluded. He's a warrior. You can see him with the tail feathers by coming down to his ankles, and he's standing on something. But basically, I'm saying that on the morning of the spring equinox, on the day of Easter, that image is seen of the God-man walking out of a tomb. The evidence that he's a tomb is the image that he's coming out of a tomb is on the right, where we see Apuk, the Mayan god of death. So those are the three stages of religion at the Azores. So thank you for watching part 14 of Chasing Time Travelers.